Welcome to my little tropical farm. Okay, I'm driving home and it's fairly late at night, but not dark yet. And I don't know if you can see this, but the 3 dogs are following me. I believe they went home with Ray. Ray used to feed the dogs before I moved here full time. I'd buy food and every night he would feed them. And they were really close to Ray. Not long after I moved here, he stopped working. I think he had injured his foot, but he wasn't working, and he came back to work yesterday at the dairy across the way from me. And the dogs were so excited to see him. And today I'm pretty sure they followed him home. So they're just now coming back. I think they're coming back. Let's wait and see if they show up. Blanca, here they come. Yeah, they're coming. So they missed dinner, but as soon as I get home, I'll feed them some dinner. And I'm driving fairly slowly. Blanca's been in the car when she went to the vet. She did not enjoy it at all. The other 2 have not been in the car, from what I know, other than being in a crate in the back of the vet's when he picked them up to sterilize them. So I did open the door to see if Blanca wanted to get in the car, and she went the other way. So they're walking home or running home, and we'll have food and water ready for them when they get there. The dogs all made it home, and now they're finishing their dinner. They've worked up an appetite, going all the way into town and back. Drinking a ton of water, as Mama's doing right now. I don't know if Baby's gonna finish. She finished her food. I haven't seen her drink any water, but she might have stopped at the creek and gotten some water. I'm gonna see if she wants a little more, since she's sitting by her food. Typically, she doesn't eat that much, but she's so darn thin. Kiwi Smuts? I know Mama wants more. Come on, Mama. Let me give you a little more. Mama always wants more. Oh, good, babe. It's good to see Baby eating some extra food for a change. And Blanca's doing her usual, sitting down and eating. But glad they made it back. I came outside right now to clean out the sheep shelter, but only one of the sheep is eating right now, and the rest seem to be going to their shelter. So that's kind of a bummer. Only because the male has started headbutting me a little. He's not charging, he's not dangerous yet, but he's headbutting, and it's just a pain in the butt. So, but they probably see, here he comes. See, he's not headbutting right now, but he will. Although every time he does, I pick him up and stick him on his butt. See? There he goes. No. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down because I am going to wrestle him to the ground. After wrestling with the sheep, now I'm picking some beans going under this tree. I have 2 types of beans. Over on the other side of the yame, I have a little bit of it looks like a tiny pinto bean, a little red bean. Not sure what it is. And then I have this big, well, not huge, but field of beans. And as you can see in my shirt, a lot of them are drying. And so I'm picking the dried ones. This is, they just call it a breakfast bean here. So frijoles desayuno. But I'm going to pick a bunch of those and shell them and save them. We could do another video on successes and failures today, but I won't go that far. I'll just tell you about one failure. So I showed you that I was picking beans. Well, the beans were full of worms. So I have 2 types of beans. This, you can hardly see it now because all the weeds are growing up, but there were 2 rows of beans right here. They're the red beans. They're fine. They don't have worms, but there's not a lot of them. There's probably enough for me to let dry out and pick. And then I've picked some of them. And then I can use them next year to plant more. But I have this little field of beans and they're all ruined. So that's what I picked yesterday. And all the beans have worms in them. Not all of them, but you know what I mean. So this field is pretty much a waste. Now, it's not fully a waste because I'm going to use, part of the reason of planting this was there was corn here and I wanted to put the nitrogen back in the ground. So beans being a nitrogen fixer, I figured it was good ground cover, and it is. So we're going to leave them. It is the dry season. They will start to die down. But it should also keep the grass from growing too strong over there and making it difficult to plant something else next. So that's, I would say, a failure. And this is my success of the week. I'll show more of this another evening this week, but this is this pipe coming down here. It's got an on-off valve over here. Oh, I just missed some parrots. It's got an on-off valve, and it comes down here, and it waters my pineapples. So here you can see 1 pineapple, and then along the row, there are more pineapples. There's another one. It doesn't water every pineapple, but it's got 5 out of, I think, 7. So hopefully the other 2, I don't even see the other 2. But hopefully if they're here, they're close enough that they're getting some water. Maybe it's, oh, I know I had at least 6, but here are 5. And then this is a guava tree that hasn't been doing that well, so it's now being watered. And here is a second guava that is being watered. The next plan is to take some piping, and I'll try and videotape that when we do it this weekend, but take some of the pipe and take it over to that pile of banana, which those bananas aren't in good shape, but I definitely want to plant some plantains and bananas over there. So we'll do that and then pass the bananas. Over here, I have 2 lemon trees. I have an avocado tree that could all use water. Now, if I can't get the pipe to the avocado tree, not the end of the world, because if I have to water that one by hand, that's easy enough to do. But here are the 2 lemon trees. 1 here and 1 over here. And then my garden is over here. And so we'll extend the piping over to the garden. And then we're talking about extending the garden out here. This was burned so that we could plant some watermelon. And if we have, I guess I think Mario burnt that yesterday. So I think from going from this lemon tree to this lemon tree, this is right in the middle. And so the pipe can release some water there. And we'll do a small batch of watermelon. And then I'm hoping to do to extend this over here and do some pumpkin. I have been loving the pumpkin here. And I make pumpkin soup all the time, and I want to be able to keep doing that. And as you can see, some things in the garden aren't looking great. So this is my turmeric. And it is starting to show that it's not doing as well because of the water. The oregano is fine. The basil is not. Basil needs some help. And here is more oregano. The mint looks okay. Over here, the turmeric looks better, but I think it gets some shade during the day. The guandu is fine, although it's not the right season, so I'm not sure I'll get any beans from that. And then this is ginger and cilantro, and they're both fine. The cilantro doesn't look great because I've been harvesting off of it a lot, but it's fine. And I'm going to pull some ginger today. Actually, I have some coming out of the ground right here, and I'll probably pull this because I'm going to start a ginger bug to make ginger soda or ginger ale. So I'll show you guys that in the next either few days or in the next few weeks. But that's a project on my list. Another small project today is to pick the last of the oranges. I think I've said I was going to do that a couple of times, but they really weren't ready. And I have tons of oranges in the house. I have a few gallons of orange juice in the freezer that I've juiced. These oranges are only good for juice because they're tart, so they need sugar added. So I'll use it to make chicha, but more importantly, I'll use it to make jam. And I made some orange curd the other day. Didn't come out great. It tasted great, but it wasn't thick enough. I kind of modified the recipe because it just didn't seem right, and maybe it was right. But we'll pull the rest of these. The parrots took off this morning, but there were a ton of them in these trees, so we should get the rest while we can. I don't know where they went. Oh, another fail this week, I would say, although we all knew it was coming because I've told you a million times the parrots are driving me crazy. They have pretty much eaten all that's left of the corn. The corn is not dry yet, but it's mostly gone. So whatever I left over there, either because it was just convenient to leave some or because it wasn't quite ready yet, I wanted to leave it to dry out for the chickens. It's gone. So that's not going to happen. Still have a lot of cleanup to do over here. I need to get rid of all this extra stuff, which looks like citrus, but it's coming from the ground. So it's not part of the grafted citrus tree. So it's not producing. And if it were to produce, I'm not sure what it would produce. And then these trees that have died off, I need to get rid of. So that's a project probably for tomorrow. Because like I said, today I'm juicing oranges inside. I'll cut down the rest of these oranges. And then I have the two spots where I want to plant taro. I really want to get all the weeds out of there. So I might get to that this afternoon. It is summertime here. It's in the 90s during the day. So to be honest with you, midday, I'm not spending a lot of time outside. And there are the sheep. Okay, I still didn't get all the oranges. I filled up that box. It's probably a third, maybe a quarter of the oranges left on the trees. I got the ripest, but this is the damage that the parrots are doing to my orange trees. And they don't even eat the whole orange. Sometimes they do. Here you can see a few they ate the whole. But all my trees are just surrounded with oranges like this. I guess I got this one. And I don't need them all, but it is kind of irritating. So just to give you guys that don't live in Panama an idea, I was offered $5 or $6 for 100 oranges. I think that's what they sell on the street. Not really worth it for me. I can make orange jam, orange jelly. I think I talked about that in a previous video, and I'll show that at some point from the juice. I can make orange curd from the juice. I can make chicha. So I'm thinking about getting my food certificate so I can sell some of that, but it makes a whole lot more sense to sell further processed orange items than to just sell the oranges, because there's not much of a return in just selling the oranges. The ducks got a new pool yesterday. I hope you could see it through all this wire, but I think so. The tires just didn't have enough water in them, so they were getting grossly dirty, as you can see from the tire that's in there now. I'll walk in there and show you a little bit better. The ducks are going to freak out when I get close, but, oh, maybe not. Look, they let me get close, just not inside. So this is their water. You can see how dirty it is. It's only noon, so the day is about half over for them. They're just dirty animals. Their food, all I do is refill their food each day, and then about once a week, I take their food and I literally just dump it over here on this concrete pad and start fresh with them, because they do seem to poop in their food occasionally. And then the chickens pick through, and it shouldn't hurt the chickens any. So, but they seem to be liking their new, I guess, pool. It's not really a pool. It's just a little bigger than it was. Well, it holds about 4 or 5 times the water. So I figure that'll keep it from being as dirty. But they seem really happy in here. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I now have 6 chickens laying consistently. I would expect to have 7 because 2 of them are the same age, but I don't have 7. And right now I have 4 eggs in there and no eggs in the lower one. So I don't know if she's about to lay or has just laid, so I'm going to leave her alone for a few minutes. And so here we are. And then once I'm sure I have 7 laying, because these naked neck chickens are about 2 weeks older than my other small chicks, I'm going to separate the naked necks, get some eggs that I'm sure are theirs. And probably, if I can't get them to get broody and sit on the eggs, I will... we tried my incubator and it didn't work. We didn't hatch a single egg. We had 1 egg that developed a little while, but not for long. And we might try and make an incubator. That's our... If we do that, I'll definitely show you the process. In the field, you can see the sheep behind her, or a little bit see the sheep. And she is coming to say hello. She'll get a little skittish as she gets close, but not overly skittish. I'm gonna sit on the ground. Hi, big girl. Oh, what a good girl. Are you sleepy? It's so warm out. So you can see she's put on weight. Her ribs aren't showing at all. I think I talked about that. Her hip bones are still showing a little bit. I give her tons of food, and usually she doesn't eat it all. Lately, she's been walking away from it, and if I don't let anyone else take it, she'll come back to it 2 minutes later. So, but there are a couple aggressive dogs. So my neighbor's dog, who I have been feeding breakfast to almost every morning, he has 2 of them, and one of them's very aggressive. The other one is very timid. So the one that's timid is much bigger, but he is thin as a rail. And I think that's because his brother steals all his food. So I do sit out there while they're eating and watch them. Also, Blanca hasn't been eating well lately. She's starting to lose some weight. Not sure why, but she seems fine other than that. And they went on this crazy long walk that I videotaped earlier yesterday, where they went to town, which is probably, they probably went about 4 miles each way. Not crazy, but in this heat, kind of crazy. So they're doing well though. But here, baby all by herself, hanging in the field. They don't bother the sheep at all. They're pretty... The sheep are afraid of them, not so afraid of Blanca now, because she follows me into the field more. She walks with me at night to go check on the chickens. But these guys don't. So they're a little skittish around Mama and baby. Here, baby's gonna go to sleep right here, I think. That's all for this week. We look forward to showing you more as the farm grows. If you like this video, hit the like button and we'd love for you to subscribe and follow along with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.